Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers The Last Knight ThreeA Sqweeks. As always, we're going to take a brief look at the packaging and then we're going to take an extremely detailed look at the figure himself. Bringing the packaging in for a closer look, we can see that we have a side profile of Sqweeks with a plethora of Autobot logos throughout the helmet design. The top of the packaging just has an Autobot insignia. The side of the box just has the front image carrying around. The back of the box doesn't offer much, it just says Autobot Sqweeks, ThreeA, and the price tag Transformers The Last Knight, and the side of the box is just the same as the other side. On the bottom we have Transformers The Last Knight and Transformers The Last Knight Retail Edition. So overall for the packaging, it's fairly simplistic but definitely does get the job done extremely well, and inside there are layers upon layers of protective foam just to ensure that the figure doesn't get damaged during shipping or storage. And here we have the figure himself. Now this is an impeccably detailed 1/6 scale version of Sqweeks from Transformers The Last Knight. Just giving you a quick 360, you can see all of the amazing paint applications and details all the way throughout. They really have nailed the design of Sqweeks in toy form here. He looks exactly how he did in the movie. Bringing him in for a closer look, we can see that he actually has got cracked plastic around where the eye sections would be, just to give it that cracked glass look, and it's been executed impeccably well. The entire helmet design has been done in this metallic rusty blue effect, and all the cracks have got rust around the edges, giving it an extremely real and authentic look. Turning it around for the side profile, we can see all the different cogs and gears inside Sqweeks' head, and it has just been done so well. The helmet is a magnet and therefore can detach very easily, so we can take a closer look at the helmet design. As you can see, the paint applications have been done amazing, and it really does look extremely realistic. Now with this off, we can take a closer look at some of the details inside Sqweeks' head. As you can see, all the way throughout, even at the top of the head, which is something that you wouldn't necessarily see with the helmet on top. You can see we've got all these different cogs and tubes and gears all throughout. He really is an impeccably detailed piece. We've got some spring sections at the top here, just amazingly detailed. The chest plate is obviously a Vespa bike and has been weathered and sculpted in a way that gives it an extremely damaged effect. The wind mirror on the inside has got smears on it as well to give it a rusted look. Bringing it down, we've got all the tubes and the pipes and the pistons, which really do make this to be one amazingly detailed 1/6 scale action figure. Now, if you remove Sqweeks' little backpack piece, you can actually see more details, which is extremely cool. It's quite simplistic to pull off. You just simply have to very gently ply it off and it will just come off. It's just pegged on by these 3 pegs, and inside we've got so many cogs and gears, just showing you all the detail inside. It really is amazingly done. And we've got the peg leg here. I didn't actually notice this in the movie, but this is actually an axe that has been used for his peg leg, which is so cool. And you've got all those tubes in there as well. Turning it around, he does have the tyre that we see him use in the film, which has been weathered appropriately to give it this really weathered and dated effect. And the rim of the wheel has got all this oil spillage, and really the detail on this is just absolutely astonishing. Now, turning to articulation, as I said, the helmet is on a magnet, so you can position it in a variety of different ways and it will stay on relatively securely. However, this is the way it's supposed to be, so if you were to pose it off on the side, then the stability of the helmet is compromised. Taking that off for a second, we can see that the eyes are all individually ball jointed, so they can move ever so slightly. You can move both of the eyes around in whatever way you so choose. The mouthpiece is also on a ball joint, so you can move that up and down and hinge it side to side. These sections here are on hinges, so you can swivel them up and down and hinge them backwards if you want to. However, you've got to be extremely delicate with this, as this is a collector piece. The head is on a double ball joint, so there is a ball joint at the top, which allows you to get him in a range of different poses, as well as look all the way up and all the way down. There is then a second ball joint which allows for further articulation, so you can put it all the way back or have it thrusted all the way forwards. Really does help for extremely dynamic posing options. It just gives him an extremely realistic appearance when on the shelf. The mirror here is on a hinge joint, allowing it to swivel forwards and backwards, and there is a ball joint for the actual mirror section itself, so you can pose that around in a variety of different ways. Sqweeks does also have articulated shoulder pieces here to allow for a wider range of movement when positioning his little arms. The arm joints are on ball joints at the top, but very stiff ball joints, but they do rotate around, and then there is a hinge joint here allowing you to lift them up and down, as well as a swivel joint. The actual bike stumps themselves can hinge forwards and backwards, however they can't rotate nor hinge without that section moving. It does have a very good range of ab movement. You can move him all the way backwards, all the way forwards, and you can have him tilting from side to side. It is just a single ball peg, unlike the head. Joint also allows you to move him from side to side, however it is slightly hindered by this front chest piece and the back section. Moving him down to the wheel section, this is on a ball joint, so you can hinge it up and down and even rotate it. The wheel does spin at the bottom, and the peg leg here can articulate, but it is extremely fragile and mainly just hinges back and forth. This section here is pulled out for extra stability, however you can just fold it up if you want. However, I like to have him stable, so I usually tend to deploy it. Overall for articulation, an extremely well articulated piece. Now turning to accessories, Sqweeks comes with a pair of open bike stumps and a pair of closed bike stumps. Now these are actually to hold some of the accessories that are pegged onto the back section of Sqweeks here. These are all detached and have specific pegs for them to port into. They're very easily detached, they just simply hinge off, and using the closed bike stumps you can just push the accessories into the hands. However, that's not the most securest connection and it does tend to slide out. I do definitely think this would work better if I were to use some of the smaller, more thinner accessories on the backpack. In order to swap out Sqweeks' hands, they are just on mushroom pegs, so they do literally just slide off the hinge joint. As you can see, this has been molded in a way which is very specific. As you can see, it's got like a very abrupt slant there, which slots in like so. So you simply have to just line it up and it will slot all the way inwards like that. These tube pieces, they don't necessarily actually have a place to go. I tend to just wedge them underneath the arm and they stay and look fine, just how they are. With the backpack detached, I can bring it in and show some of those closer details. As you can see, it's been picked out in a very nice paint application to give it a very weathered leather appearance, and you can see all of his different tools on the back. They are held in by pegs, however you do get a set of elastic bands to put them around just to look as if though they have been strapped in. On the bottom of this we have got, I believe, which would be a license plate. However, when you flip it around, it does have the ThreeA Made in China logo on the back. Very hidden extremely well, so that is definitely something nice to see. And it does just slide onto these 3 pegs on the back, which, may I mention, do have springs on them just to give it that extra authentic look. Just lining them up, they stay on extremely well, and that is how you attach the backpack back onto Sqweeks. Now, as with all of the Transformers Movieverse ThreeA products, this figure does have a light up function. In order to access that, you simply have to pull off the head. The batteries are held in a compartment up here. Switching this switch on, you will get a blue LED light, which really makes this look extremely realistic and very authentic to what we see in the movie. As you can see, the blue LED bulbs do have the brightness capacity to light up the entire rims of the eyes, giving him an extremely lifelike and very realistic look. Overall, an extremely well done, executed light up feature. For a size comparison, here is the Last Knight ThreeA Sqweeks next to the Dark of the Moon ThreeA Bumblebee. As you can see, Bumblebee is considerably larger than Sqweeks, however they are not in scale with one another whatsoever. As I said from the beginning, Sqweeks is more of a 1/6 scale figure, so will scale more with your Hot Toys figures. However, they do look amazing on the shelf together, and I believe Sqweeks is about 8 or 9 inches tall. I know Bumblebee is about 15 inches, so just to give you a sense of scale, that's how tall he is in inches. Overall, ThreeA Sqweeks is another amazing addition to the Transformers ThreeA movie lineup. He is impeccably detailed, impeccably articulated, and looks identical to that Sqweeks prop that we saw in Transformers The Last Knight. He is in scale with some of your 1/6 scale figures, so will definitely not look out of place when scaled next to some of your Hot Toys figures. He also doesn't look too out of place next to some of the larger Transformers Dark of the Moon figures, as well as the Age of Extinction Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. I highly recommend this figure if you are into these more premium collectibles. I picked this up for £150, which is quite a steep price for a collectible figure. However, you are getting amazing articulation, amazing detail, and this is geared more towards collectors, so it makes for an amazing collector piece. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below. As always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you in my next review. Thanks for watching.